I turned this into this. I have turned my little queendom into everything I want it to be. And you can do it too. Come on, let me inspire you to do your own projects. Come see what I've done. Aside from having the big tree removed in the front yard, stump removed, grass planted, a new roof, and insulation in the attic, I have done everything else by myself. This front ramp was slippery. It had a gap between the house and the ramp, and it was dangerous in the wintertime. Anyone could have stepped right off it in the dark and broke a leg. Not to mention all the boards that were loose and rotting, so I started pulling them off one by one and removing all the debris. I cut the front section of railing out of the porch and reattached it on the side where the ramp used to be. Using the wood from the ramp, I built a step. And never doing any concrete work before in my life, I mixed and poured the concrete using molds. I dug the sidewalk out, cutting out a ton of roots from that old tree. Using those molds was a great idea for my first time. I made my way to the end of the driveway, then I installed drip irrigation for my plants. I also made flower boxes from the wood left over from the ramp. I painted the porch and added some plants. Oh yeah, and the very first thing I did before any of this front work was I painted the shutters and the front door burgundy because I didn't care for the orange color that they were when I bought the house. The awnings, which I made out of PVC and outdoor fabric. I wanted something to carry the color across the front of the house because it was so blank on one side and not the other. And while the window boxes helped a little bit, I just thought it would look better to have some more color on that side. And it turns out that it has helped block the sun out as well. This is my backyard. And darn if I wasn't so excited the day I bought my little queendom that I forgot to get a picture of the back of the house for the before. It was only after I put on a storm door and started thinning out the shrubs that I realized that I didn't get the picture. The previous owner must not have realized that all that beautiful, lush landscaping she had put in was going to grow into a very unmanageable jungle. I couldn't even see out the sun porch windows, and the seagrass was so overgrown I had to cut it back just to access the shed. There was a storm door leading from the sun porch to the kitchen, and since there was no need for a storm door there, I moved it to the back door that had none. I started digging out shrubs, small trees, lots and lots of roots, and more seagrass than I ever wanted to see in my life. It looks nice, but it grows and takes over like wildfire. I did actually try to keep some of it, but I eventually got rid of it all. At 67, I just don't want to invest that much time to its upkeep. I wasn't sure what to do with all the mound up dirt that was housing the jungle, but then it hit me. There's a spot just outside my back door that must have some access to lines or something, as the ground was very wavy and full of dips and holes. So I transferred the excess dirt from the jungle area and put it in the wavy area in hopes of leveling it off before I twist an ankle. It helped, but it was still a bit of a trip hazard, so I put some seagrass from the jungle there. It was fine for the time, and it did keep me from falling in that spot. I wanted to be able to enjoy my backyard and to have easier access to my shed so I wouldn't have to plod through the snow or mud. So once I got it leveled out, I installed a paver patio. At first, it was an improvement, but I felt it could be better, so I expanded the patio, and instead of just a path to the shed, I inclined the pavers to fashion a ramp, making it easier to drive my mower in and out. I extended the patio pavers down the length of the sidewalk to include a grill area and a more livable patio space. I put a soft top gazebo for shade and enjoyed it for a couple years before it started falling apart. Despite taking it down for winter, it just couldn't stand up to the sun and rain. So this year I was back to a sun-soaked bare patio. But because I would be hosting my granddaughter's going away to college cookout at the end of the summer, I got the idea that I needed an outdoor kitchen. I bought a hardtop gazebo this time, as I was not about to throw good money after bad on one that was going to need replaced every other year. In researching which one I wanted to buy, I watched a lot of videos on assembling them and found that almost all of them said it required 2 to 3 people to assemble it. I don't have the extra hands, so I'm just going to have to take my time and work smarter, not harder. And I was able to do it alone. I did have my friend next door come over to help me hoist the roof frame up, but the rest of it went pretty well. It took 4 days, but those 4 days fell right in the middle of a 10-day stretch of high heat, humidity, and constant on and off rain. Working between the drops and having to stop to cool off and hydrate so much definitely slowed the process down, but I did it and I felt very proud of myself too. Next, I started collecting as many stray cinder blocks as possible. Gotta save money where I can. During the time that I was collecting blocks and digging out the spot for them, I plumbed a sink. Having a sink in your outdoor space is a game changer. I love it. I got a black stone griddle, and I have doubts that I will ever use my grill again. I love that griddle so much. I've been cooking and eating all of my meals out there. I finally reached the point where I needed to go ahead and order the rest of the cinder blocks that I needed to finish my cook station. When they arrived, it took 2 days to level and dry stack the blocks the way I thought I wanted them. I did not mortar anything together yet, as I still was unsure of what setup would work best for my needs. I figured I'd take it for a test run this summer and make it permanent next spring. I cut MDF board for my counters that would be covered with 24-inch by 24-inch tiles and backer board for under my grill, griddle, and pizza oven. I pitched a pop-up shade tent to work under and left it up for temporary shade for my kitchen for the summer. It makes a huge difference. I'm so happy with the projects I've completed and those in progress, and while they may not be up to professional standards, I'd say not too bad for a 67-year-old retired grandma DIYer. I'm so blessed to still be able to do what I have, and it gives me such a sense of accomplishment and independence. I have friends who are constantly complaining about the help they hire to do projects around their houses. Shoddy work, not showing up when they say, not finishing when they promise, or just not coming back at all. I always tell them I'd rather half-ass it myself for nothing than to pay someone twice as much to half-ass it. Being retired leaves next to nothing in the budget, so I have to get creative on pennies, and sometimes it takes a little longer. But for what I save doing it myself, it's worth it. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see more of my projects. I've done so much to my house, and I can't wait to show you all I've done inside and out. I'll be happy to respond to any questions and comments.